£20,000. That's the value of the work one single scheme on this list will do for your home, completely free, if you qualify and you apply before the deadline buried in point 1. This is money and support you are entitled to right now, and most likely are not claiming. Not because you don't deserve it, but because none of these 7 systems are built to come and find you. Stay until the final point, because it's the one almost nobody over 75 has actually applied for, and it quietly removes an entire yearly bill for good. I've spent the past few months going through DWP guidance, HMRC rules, NHS charge documents, and 2026-27 government figures line by line, cross-checking every number so this is accurate rather than recycled from wherever it started. The reason none of this reaches you automatically is simple. These systems run on what you ask for, not on what you're owed. A letter goes out once, a form sits on a website, and if you miss it, the saving is just gone. There are 7 of these hiding in plain sight, and we're going through every one of them in order, starting with the biggest single amount on the whole list. The first one is the Energy Company Obligation Scheme, known as ECO4. And it's worth going through slowly because the numbers are large. This is a government-backed program that legally requires the UK's largest energy suppliers, including British Gas, EDF, EON, OVO, Scottish Power, and Octopus, to fund free insulation, boiler replacements, first-time central heating, and in some cases, solar panels for eligible households. Work like this typically costs between £10,000 and £20,000 if you pay for it privately. Under ECO4, for the right household, it costs nothing. Here's who qualifies, and it's wider than most people assume. If anyone in your home receives pension credit, universal credit, housing benefit, or a similar qualifying benefit, and your property has an energy rating of D, E, F, or G, you're very likely eligible. But here's the detail almost nobody mentions. Even without any of those benefits, if your household income is roughly under £31,000 a year, your local council can still declare you eligible through what's called the Local Authority Flex Route, completely separate from your benefit status. And here's the part that actually creates urgency. ECO4 has already been extended once, and the government has confirmed there will be no successor scheme replacing it in its current form once it finally closes at the end of December 2026. The Warm Homes Plan will continue afterward, but under different eligibility rules that won't cover everyone ECO4 currently does. If you think you might qualify, search ECO4 eligibility checker or ask your own energy supplier directly, and do it well before December, because installer slots fill up long before the deadline itself does. Now, if you skip this next one, it could be costing you hundreds of pounds a year without you realizing it's optional. Council tax. The average Band-D bill in England for 2026-27 sits at £2,392, and most people pay it in full without ever checking if that's actually correct for their situation. If you live alone, you're entitled to a 25% single-person discount, and that's not linked to income at all. It simply has to be applied for. If you share your home with another adult on a low income, there's a separate second adult rebate based on their income, not yours, which some households qualify for even when they'd get nothing through the usual route. And if you receive the guarantee credit element of pension credit, your council tax bill can be reduced all the way down to zero through the council tax reduction scheme. Councils can also backdate these reductions to the start of the financial year, so applying now can still recover months you've already overpaid. None of this happens by default. Contact your local council directly and ask them to check your account. Here's one that catches almost everyone by surprise, because it's something you've been paying every single time you fill a prescription, right up until the day it silently stops applying to you. NHS prescriptions in England are completely free from age 60 for every item, every month, with no means test and no application beyond ticking a box. The charge in 2026-27 is £9.90 per item. So 2 regular medications a month works out to roughly £238 a year you may no longer owe. To stop paying, simply confirm you're age 60 or over on the prescription form. And here's the part almost nobody knows exists. If you kept paying after your 60th birthday by mistake, you can reclaim those payments going back 3 months using Form FP57. Available free at any pharmacy counter, no appointment required. On top of that, NHS Pharmacy First is now running across England, meaning you can walk into a participating pharmacy for free treatment of 7 common conditions, including UTIs, shingles, and infected insect bites, without booking a GP appointment at all. This next one affects fewer people directly, but for those it applies to, it removes a bill entirely. The Warm Home Discount is a £150 payment taken straight off your electricity bill between October and March. It's automatic if you receive the guarantee credit element of pension credit. If you don't, you may still qualify through a broader route where your supplier checks your details against DWP records, but only if they actually do that check. So call your supplier directly and ask them in those words whether you're registered for the Warm Home Discount, and if not, what they need from you. Almost everyone assumes this next one doesn't apply to them because it sounds like something only vulnerable households get. It doesn't work that way. The Priority Services Register is a free, confidential list run by energy suppliers and network operators, and once you're on it, you're entitled to things like a free annual gas safety check, which would otherwise cost between £60 and £120 privately. Anyone age 65 or over qualifies automatically, along with anyone managing a long-term illness, disability, or hearing or sight impairment. Registering takes about 5 minutes over the phone. The one detail that trips people up is that your energy supplier and your network operator, the company that actually owns the pipes and wires into your home, are usually different. And registering with one doesn't register you with the other, so you may need to make 2 calls, not 1. Now picture someone like Joan, 71, living alone since her husband passed, on a modest pension with no idea any of this existed until a friend mentioned the council tax discount over tea. 1 phone call later, her bill dropped by nearly £600 a year. That's not a rare story. That's what happens the moment someone actually asks the question instead of assuming the full bill is fixed. This next one covers a bill that can run into hundreds of pounds a year, and it's one of the most overlooked entitlements on pension credit specifically. NHS dental treatment is completely free, not discounted, free, for anyone receiving pension credit. Examinations, x-rays, and standard treatment are all included. Current NHS dental charges in England run from around £27.90 for a basic checkup up to well over £300 for more complex work like crowns or dentures. If you're on pension credit, show your award letter to your dentist before treatment starts. And if you've paid while eligible in the last 3 months, you can claim it back using Form HC5 from any dental practice. This is the one I told you to wait for. And it's genuinely the one most people over 75 have never actually applied for, even though it's sitting right there available to them. The standard television license now costs £180 a year. If you're 75 or over and you or your partner receive the guarantee element of pension credit, your license is entirely free for every television in your household. The catch is that nobody applies it for you. The BBC doesn't know your pension credit status, and the DWP doesn't pass it along either. You have to apply directly to TV licensing once your pension credit is confirmed as being in payment. And once you do, it stays free for as long as you remain eligible. And while we're on things people quietly keep paying for no reason, every person aged 60 or over in England is entitled to a completely free NHS sight test at any NHS optician. No referral, no income check, no exceptions. Even though a private one typically runs £25 to £50. So here's where all of that leaves you. 7 real entitlements, each with one specific action attached. Check your Eco4 eligibility before the December 2026 deadline. Ask your council to review your council tax discounts and backdate them to April. Confirm you've stopped paying for prescriptions at 60 and reclaim anything you shouldn't have paid using FP57. Ask your energy supplier directly about the Warm Home Discount. Get yourself onto the Priority Services. Register with both your supplier and your network operator. Confirm your NHS dental entitlement if you're on pension credit. And if you're 75 or over on pension credit, apply for your free TV license and book that free sight test while you're at it. If you know someone who's already retired, send them this today. There's a good chance at least one of these 7 applies to them, and they've never heard of it. And if you'd like to catch the next rule change or deadline before it quietly closes rather than after, it's worth staying subscribed for that. None of these 7 systems will ever call you first. That part is entirely up to you.